Time is now 1:13 on this Friday afternoon. We're now going to be joined by Caitlin Brimner. She has had a wedding disaster. The dream wedding venue that she thought she was going to be walking down the aisle to is not going to happen. She joins us now to explain exactly what happened here. You're joined by your fiance. Thank you both for being here.
Yes, hi Jim. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
And I want to start with the fiance. What's your name? We didn't get your name.
I'm Evan.
Thank you both for being here. And I understand you guys are actually on your way to a wedding now?
We are, yeah. We're about to leave in a few minutes for a friend's wedding.
Well, thank you for giving us your time. Now, Caitlin, I was reading up on this, and it said that you actually booked your dream wedding venue before your fiance even proposed. So how did you know that timing was coming?
Actually, we did it a little after our engagement.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we got engaged the day after Christmas, and we started doing some tours in March. We actually live in Minnesota, so we're out of state, so that has added a bit of trickiness to figuring out our wedding back in Chicago. And so we booked Cuneo back in March when we toured.
And when we saw it, it was just, we knew it was the one for us, and it was just fit every box that we wanted.
What was that moment where you said it checked every box? Walk us through what are some of those boxes? What made it the perfect venue for you guys?
Yeah, so we both come from big families, so we knew we needed a venue that could accommodate all of our family and loved ones and friends. And Cuneo checked that box off the bat. And I mean, from the minute we stepped in the doors, it's a gorgeous venue, a beautiful home. We loved that the guests would be able to walk around the mansion and tour and see what the Cuneo family lived in the house, the beautiful grounds, a place for a nice ceremony, and some personal reasons as well. My grandfather is from Italy, and so is the Cuneo family, and the style of the house is an Italian villa, and my grandfather also went to Loyola University, who owned the venue, and he passed away a few years ago, so it was kind of a nice way to honor my heritage and my grandpa, and we just fell in love the minute we walked in.
Caitlin, give us an idea of the timing of this, of when you booked the venue and when you received this email that said you were no longer going to be able to hold your dream wedding there.
Yeah, so we toured back in March, and I think we officially signed our contract either last week of March, first week of April. So it's been about 6 months, and we've had a lot of other vendors booked already for our date next year. And we found out last Thursday, we got an email at 5 p.m., just kind of a very basic template email with no real information, just informing us that Loyola had sold the venue and that no events, they were not going to be able to hold any events there in 2026.
So what was your follow-up process from there? I imagine, well, I can't imagine because I haven't been in this situation. So what was going through your mind when you got this initial email you said at 5 p.m.?
Immediate panic. Very stressed, not really sure. The email really didn't have a lot of information. So we immediately emailed the woman, the contact at Loyola, just to see if she had any information. We tried calling, emailing. We didn't get a response right away. So it was kind of just a few days of...
It was frustrating for us because, especially so, because it came right at the end of Thursday, and then we were coming up on a holiday weekend, so the time that it took to get a response was elongated, and we didn't hear anything until days ago now. So we had to, spring into action without any follow-up, any personal notice that yes, everything is canceled. Just this very scant letter with not much information.
So since then, have you been able to gather any more information on why all the events were canceled? And of course, the obvious question is, I'm sure you guys put down deposits and things of that nature. So what happens with that?
Yeah, so Loyola informed us we'd be getting our deposit back for renting the mansion for our wedding. In terms of other deposits, we did have a lot of vendors booked. However, I will say they have all been lovely and amazing, and we're so appreciative. They've all been very understanding. A lot of them we booked because they were on Cuneo's preferred vendor list, so they've all worked there multiple times before. They kind of all seemed as blindsided by this as we were. They've all been great. Some of them have been reaching out to new venues to check availability for our date on our behalf. We really couldn't be more thankful to have them on our team, and they're all working with us to either come with us to a new venue or a new date. So we're hoping we don't lose too many deposits with the ones we have booked, but we'll see.
We even broke the news to a couple of the vendors who had recently done weddings there and had no idea any of that was going on.
Any idea what that venue is going to be used for in the future? And did they at least apologize for this obviously huge inconvenience?
Not exactly. They told us that the buyer wants to remain anonymous, so we don't know who the buyer is. We don't know if they intend to continue using the mansion as a place to hold events. We're trying to inquire if the new buyer has any intention of possibly honoring any of the dates, because we know that Cuneo has been booked for weddings. I think they're booked most of the whole year, every Saturday next year, for at least the prime time months in the summer. So we have no idea if they intend to honor it or if we'll find out who the buyer is before November, but we don't really have time to wait. If we need to book another venue, we can't wait until November. And the letter template honestly wasn't very personalized. It just said, "We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause," even though it obviously immediately caused a pretty big inconvenience for us.
And you guys are at least trying to make the best out of a terrible situation. How are you doing? Obviously, this is a very emotional time for you guys as well. I mean, this is supposed to be one of the biggest and brightest and happiest events of your life. So how are you, I guess, kind of channeling that energy into finding a new venue?
Yeah, we're really lucky. Our family has jumped in, full support behind us. Like I mentioned earlier, we're in Minnesota actually, so we weren't able to come home right away, but my mom, Evan's sister, have all been going to do some tours for us, sending us photos, putting us on FaceTime. Like I said, our vendors have been reaching out to some places, so we're all hands on deck, and we're excited about some options that we've come across in the last week, and we know that we'll get it figured out.
Are you guys still considering anywhere in the Chicagoland area?
Yes, we are.
All right. If you guys are able to do that, we'll have to come in and make this whole and tell you guys a story. Thanks so much for your time, and safe travels as you celebrate a wedding for some friends this weekend. And hopefully your own wedding is not that far away. Thanks so much again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it'll happen. The important thing is that we're together and we're going to get married, and that's all that truly, at the end of the day matters to us.